All right, I'm Megan Fox with PJmedia.com. I'm coming to you from the library in Knives Out because this is a bit of a mystery we're trying to get to the bottom of, aren't we? And today I thought that I would read to you from the Federalist. This is an incredible article. And this is about, of course, the ACLU mystery. Let's get to the bottom of how Amber Heard used the ACLU and the Washington Post to attack Johnny Depp. This is by Azra Nomani, and this article in the Federalist is fantastic. Let's read through it. How the Washington Post and the ACLU helped Amber Heard attack Johnny Depp. Amber Heard should be held responsible for putting her name on her allegedly defamatory Washington Post op ed, but she didn't write it, and the Post should have known. According to the evidence presented in court, actress actress Amber Heard lied within the first moment she stepped onto the witness stand last week, saying, "I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote." The Washington Post op-ed at the heart of the defamation lawsuit from actor Johnny Depp carried the byline "by Amber Heard," and Heard should be responsible for putting her name on its contents. But the op-ed was anything but written by Heard. In fact, in a disturbing breach of journalistic and nonprofit ethics, testimony in the tragic trial of Johnny Depp v. Amber Heard reveals Depp should put two other defendants on trial: the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, and the Washington Post. The two organizations raise millions of dollars on brand reputations that hinge on values of transparency, honesty, and ethics that they violated in writing and publishing the allegedly defamatory op ed. In a carefully orchestrated operation, extensive documentation of which I've detailed on Substack, we now know from testimony and email evidence that the communications, development, artist engagement, and legal terms of the ACLU crafted, wrote, lawyered, and placed the salacious 765-word Washington Post op-ed, in quotes, that implied Depp was a wife beater with a 26-word assertion: "2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out." The ACLU was a co conspirator with Miss Heard, Depp's attorney Ben Chu said during his arguments on Tuesday. "Of course, Mr. Depp chose not to sue them," responded Heard's lawyer, Benjamin Rottenborn. Heard's and Depp's PR firms didn't comment further. The ACLU and the Washington Post didn't return several requests for comment. Yeah, does that surprise anyone? Listen, I want to take a second before I go back to the article to remind you. Don't forget to visit the merch store. So much stuff in there. Oops, wrong button. I hit the wrong button. But there's so much stuff for you to check out. There's the "I Survived and Just Like That" wine coolers, pronouns, stickers, mugs, sweatshirts. There's mega pints. Isn't happy hour anytime? T-shirts. Please check it out. Support the channel. All right, let's go back to the article. Amber's ad. Two slips of the tongue during the recorded deposition of ACLU Chief Operating Officer Terrence Doherty, shared in court, reveal exactly how the ACLU and the Washington Post were complicit in a hit job against Depp. In the first Freudian slip, at 14:30:51 into his deposition, Doherty explained that emails in Exhibit 41 documented ACLU staffers from its fundraising development department discussing the placement of Amber's ad. He quickly tried to correct himself. "Not ad, sorry, I mean op ed." No, he said it. The placement of Amber's ad. I caught that when he said it too. That's exactly what it was. I tell you guys all the time how media places, PR firms place stories in certain publications. This is what the ACLU is doing for Amber into the Washington Post. They were placing an ad, a paid for ad, is what it was. That's what the op ed was. Earned media, as they call it in the media industry, for the ACLU, Heard, and the release of the Warner Brothers film Aquaman. Then, in the second clip at 14:40:35 in his deposition, Doherty explained how Stacy Sullivan, deputy director of editorial and strategic communications at the ACLU from September 2014 through October 2019, according to her LinkedIn account, emailed Michael Larrabee, the Post's op-ed editor and top boss in the opinion section, then Larrabee's colleagues Michael Duffy and Mark Laswell, when she got an automatic out-of-office reply from Larrabee. In the second slip, Doherty said about Sullivan, she reached out to him first about placing the ad from Heard. This time he didn't even correct himself. Phase 1, building credibility. Everyone involved in this situation used Depp's cachet for private gain. The ACLU used Heard's relationship with Depp to win earned media, which is much more lucrative and trustworthy than a paid advertisement. The Washington Post sold newspapers and got clicks. The ACLU got a donation. Heard earned status as a women's rights activist. In my 35 years of professional journalism, the last 20 of them writing op eds, I have never before witnessed a more explicit example of deception. Some years ago, I taught a course on writing the reported op ed at Georgetown University. And if any of my students had tried to pull off what Heard and the ACLU did, I would have had to fail them for the serious ethical violation of passing off somebody's work as their own. Publishing an op ed that someone else has written for you is no different than going online and buying a term paper. I get it. Not everyone is a writer. We all benefit from editors. I've used editors and wordsmiths to help me with drafts, but as authors, we have an ethical duty to be the ones to first put words down in writing. But in the fall of 2018, Heard's op ed was the brainchild of communications staffers at the ACLU. The ACLU had published a blog post in August of 2016 following Heard's divorce from Depp with this positive headline: Actress Amber Heard donates millions to support the ACLU and its work fighting violence against women. The page featured a banner image, Speak Freely. The tags on the post were violence against women and women's rights. In the hallmarks of pay-to-play operation, Heard had donated $350,000 to the ACLU in August of 2016, pledging $3.5 million. Of that, Doherty testified he believes only $1.3 million was paid, with Depp paying $100,000 and billionaire Elon Musk, who dated Heard after her divorce, attributed to a June 2017 payment of $500,000 and a December 2018 payment of $350,000. Phase 2, the proposal. And these are the emails that were uncovered in Discovery. On November 6, 2018, at 2:22 p.m., Jerry Johnson, who according to his LinkedIn was then an ACLU staffer in communications strategy, sent an email to Heard's publicist at the time, Jody Gottlieb. It said, I'd like your and Amber's thoughts on doing an op ed in which she discusses the ways in which survivors of gender based violence have been made less safe under the Trump administration and how people can take action. So it was the ACLU's, it was their idea to write this thing. Johnson even framed the piece as depicting Heard as a gender based violence or GBV survivor, writing, if she feels comfortable, she can interweave her personal story, saying how painful it is as a GBV survivor to witness these setbacks. And of course, this was a Trump hit piece as well. You got to love the ACLU. Oh my God. Phase 3, the writing. After her colleague Johnson planted this idea, Robin Schulman, a communications strategist at the ACLU, took on the task of writing the first draft of the op ed, according to Doherty's testimony and ACLU emails used as exhibits in court. Over the next 23 days, through November 29, 2018, the ACLU's communications, legal, and development teams went back and forth with Heard's PR team and lawyers on the details that would be shared about her relationship with Depp in the op ed. That day, November 29th, 2018, at 1:12 p.m., Jessica Weitz, Director of Artist Engagement at the ACLU, sent an email to Heard identified as AH with an attachment marked as the 8th version of the op ed and the subject line, Amber Op Ed 8.x. She noted that the op ed had to pass through quite a few layers first. Sorry, quite a few lawyers first. This is what it says. Hi, Amber. Apologies for the delay, but we have needed this to pass through quite a few lawyers first. Please read Robin's notes below and let me know your edits. Also, you should show this to your attorney, one from the long list. I want to make sure nothing was said in here that puts you in jeopardy with your NDA, because she had a non disclosure agreement with her divorce settlement. 2 hours later, at 3:20 p.m., Schulman sent a new draft of the op-ed to Whites to forward to Heard with the note. I tried to gather your fire and rage and really interesting analysis and shape that into op-ed form. Incredibly, in this game of deception, she said, I hope it sounds true to you. She added, your lawyers should review this for the way I skirted around talking about your marriage. Again, Heard did not even write her own draft. Oh my God. Phase 4, placing the hit. From the Office of Communication Strategy at the ACLU, Johnson offered some media outlets to pitch the piece: The Washington Post, The New York Times, USA Today, and Teen Vogue, which has become a go to for hard left content. It's true, it has. I wrote a ton of stuff about Teen Vogue a couple years ago. That was truly gross. They put a guide to anal for teen girls in Teen Vogue. I mean, how sick is that? On December 11th, 2018, another 12 days after the first draft was shared, and just one more than 1 month since the ACLU first planted the idea of an op ed, according to a reading of the email in court, it was Whites who pitched the timing of the op ed's placement. In an email, Whites wrote to the ACLU team, the goal is to get this out this week to capitalize on the tremendous campaign for Aquaman. The emails haven't been filed yet as court records, but are read on the deposition videos. According to court testimony, Whites also said in an email that Heard wanted to get her temporary restraining order into the op ed. Is there an artful way to do that? Whites asked. It was left to the ACLU's Sullivan to pitch the op ed, according to Doherty's deposition. She emailed the pitch to Larrabee and others at the Washington Post. Starting off with casual familiarity, she punctuated her pitch with a juicy parenthetical phrase. Hey, Michael, wondering if we might interest you in a piece by Amber Heard, who, as you may recall, was beaten up during her brief marriage to Johnny Depp, on what the incoming Congress can do to help protect women in similar situations. She just slipped in that serious allegation about Depp. When Sullivan got an out of office reply, she forwarded the pitch to Duffy and Laswell at the Post. After the Post accepted the op ed, according to court testimony, White celebrated, writing in an email, It's going to the Washington Post. Then on December 17th, 2018, in an email with the subject line regarding language time sensitive, the ACLU's Schulman continued to massage the op ed with Heard's attorney Eric George. AH was just on the CC line and copied in the messages. Here's what this email says. Robin, all good except that edit is a no-go. Please explain to the Post that one cannot reveal discussions with a lawyer without waiving the attorney-client privilege. Can't let that happen here, especially since the edit adds nothing. Amber can simply say that an advisor made that statement to her, okay? God. Phase 5, the hit. The next day, December 18th, 2018, the Washington Post published an op ed in its opinion section with the headline, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. Amber face. It included the words, crafted artfully and deliberately by the team at ACLU. I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Larrabee, Duffy, and Laswell should have all known better. Getting a pitch from the Deputy Director of Editorial and Strategic Communications at the ACLU is a huge red flag that they wrote the piece. Did the Washington Post editors even ask? It was reckless, irresponsible, and defamatory to imply without a conviction that Depp had been a domestic violence abuser. That's Journalism 101. And Heard, the ACLU, and the Washington Post are responsible for the headline that ran alleging sexual violence. No matter the verdict of this case, they need to fix their misconduct. To right their wrongs, they should do three things: apologize to Depp for publishing the fake op ed that wasn't even written by Heard, retract the op ed, and donate to charities that actually fight domestic violence. In 2011, the UK's Guardian published an op ed headlined "The Ghost Written Op Ed: An Unacceptable Deception." Author Dan Gilmore asked, "If I'd fail a journalism student for a paper written by another, why does the media give a pass to the rich and powerful?" It's that same breach of trust the ACLU and Washington Post are silent about today. We don't need closing arguments in the case against Heard to issue a verdict on the unethical breach of the public trust by these two institutions of power. Guilty. That's fantastic. Really, really good. I know there was a lot of information there to digest, but I think it's very interesting and worthwhile to understand how that op ed was placed, who did it, and why. And it was political. It was a political hit job by the ACLU on Donald Trump and for the Me Too movement. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is just stunning. And I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to check out the merch store. The link is in the description. Please visit the store, pick up anything that speaks to you. There's certainly tons of things there to choose from. And I will be back again. I have written another article at PJ Media today, which hopefully I'll get on here and be able to read to you today or sometime tomorrow. But right now, I have to go and talk to my children about the catastrophic animal attack that happened in our chicken coop. We lost our rooster and two other hens, and one of them was a child favorite. And so it's going to be a really rough day. And I just heard the bus pull up. Pray for me. Talk to you guys soon.